really questioned my faith throughout the years. And my walk with God actually started on a family vacation to Ohio. I don't really know what we were doing there, but we ended up going to this church. And there was this Bible school that we ended up going to that was there. And on that Friday night, the preacher of the church, he was talking to the kids. After he said a prayer, he talked to the kids, and he said, "Kids, keep your heads bowed and your eyes closed." And he said, "Alright." You guys range in age from 3 to about 12. And at that time, I was like 5 or 6. And he said, you guys range in size and age. And he said, if you guys want to be saved, raise your hand and your teacher will help you up to the altar. So me being 5 and not really knowing what I was doing, I raised my hand just like everybody else. And the guy and he told the parents and the adults, said, now you parents and adults, come to the altar, grab a kid and take them somewhere and pray with them. The guy that grabbed me was, you guys may know him, Tommy Holtzclaw. He and I, we went and we sat on the stage at the church, and he asked me a bunch of questions. I only remember one question though. He asked me if I knew what sin was, and of course I said, yeah, I know what sin is. It's whenever you do something against God. And yeah. And he comes to my mom, he grabs her and he says, Abby and I need to talk to you. So my mom, me and Tommy, we sit down together and we pray. But I didn't say my own prayer. He said a prayer and he told me to repeat it. So I did. And that's whenever I was saved. The first time I thought I was saved. Then whenever I was about 11 and a half or 12, I knew that I wasn't living the Christian life. I never really read my Bible. I only prayed whenever my parents were around, which was at the dinner table and bedtime, which was it. And I never read my Bible at all. And I knew that I needed to do something, but I didn't know what that was. So whenever I was about 12-ish, that was whenever we still had youth down in the sanctuary. Me and Mel were cleaning up the snacks and all that stuff. And that night David had just gotten done talking about the steps of a walk with God. And the conversation ended up to asking me, Melanie asked me what my next step would be. And I said it would be rededication. And she says, well, what are you waiting for? We can just do that now. So we go up to David, and the youth that's still there ended up all laying hands on me. We prayed. And I got rededicated. But what had happened was after I got rededicated, and after all that happened, I had a crazy turn. I started reading my Bible 3 or 4 times a day. I would pray over every little thing, and I had really taken a turn from the best, but sadly that only lasted a week. And at that point I really didn't want to sleep at night, because I knew if I died in my sleep, I didn't know if I was going to heaven or hell. And every time there was a baptism, you guys know that PJ always opens up the baptistry at the end to anyone who has been saved and wants to be baptized. I wanted to run up to the baptistry and just jump in every baptism. But I knew that I couldn't, because I had already been baptized and I had been saved. But my heart would race. and I would just feel like a tug. But I just ignored it and I pushed it aside. But last year, on July the 23rd last year, David was actually preaching about having a sealed relationship with God. At the end, he opened up the altar to anybody who wanted to come and pray. And I wanted to, but I didn't. I wanted to run up there, but I didn't. I just calmly walked, and I sat down in front of the altar, and I just started bawling. My mom comes up to me, and she says, "Abney, is everything okay?" And I went, "Mom, it's not." I said, "Nothing's okay." I was like, I know I was saved in Ohio whenever I was like 5 or 6, and I know I've been baptized, but I don't feel like I'm saved. So she said, "Well, go ahead, bow your head and close your eyes, and you pray to God and tell him what's on your heart." And I said, "God, I know that I've been saved whenever I was little, but I feel like I'm not. I feel like I'm not saved, and I'm scared to sleep at night." So I prayed, and I said, as I was praying, I said, "I want to be yours. I want you to come into, I want your Holy Spirit to come into me, and I want you to take over." And I got saved, and that time I really nailed it down. Like, I now know that beyond a shadow of a doubt that if I die like right now, I'm going to go to heaven. Ever since then, I've done a lot. I've read my Bible about twice a day now, and I try to make that every day. And I pray a lot. I don't know how much I pray about this, but I've actually started a chat on Instagram with girls that's my age. Some are a little older and a little younger than me. But I send them a Bible verse every week to give them encouragement to go through the school year, to help them in their walk with God. And I really try to give them encouragement. I've also gotten into the church. The reason you guys have clean bathrooms downstairs every Sunday is because I clean them every morning whenever I get here. And I sign kids in with Jocelyn. And I've tried to witness, and I have, you guys know for a long time that I've had my uncle on my heart for a long time. It's been about 2 years now, and about Easter last year, I finally went to the store and I bought a Bible for him, and I gave it to him. And ever since I gave him that Bible, like, he wasn't at the house, so I just went and I sat on his bed. Ever since I gave him that Bible, I asked my Nana if he had done anything with it, and she said, "I don't know, but I've not found it in the trash." And that really lit me up, that she hadn't found it in the trash. And he's honestly been quite a bit nicer to me and my sisters. So I know you guys have heard that the longest conversation was, "Hey Abney, how are you?" Or "Hey David, how are you?" He'd say, "Hey Abney." That was literally the longest conversation we had. But early June this year, I heard 3 words that I never thought would come out of his mouth. 3 words, "I love you." I never thought that those words would come out of his mouth, especially to me. But I know that whenever I gave him that Bible, he had done something with it. And I knew that he would either throw in the trash, or I thought that he would either throw in the trash or sit it on a shelf and never touch it. But I honestly think that he has actually read some of it. I really try to talk to him, and it's fun whenever I do. But he's not saved, and I know that every day is another day that I'll lose a chance to try to talk to him about it. But because I sometimes forget that I'm not the one that saves him, that it's God, and I just need to remember that if he can save me at the place that I was whenever I was 10, that he can save David also. So it's funny what happened after I got saved last year. It's funny that I read my Bible every day and that I still do. And it's funny how God can do stuff like that to you. He can help you to talk to people, and he can help you with anything that's going on, because my sisters have honestly really shown that to me. One day I come home from dance, and there's these two girls in my class at dance that just drive me insane because they're not responsible, they never have their shoes, and they're always on the negative side of everything. But my 10-year-old sister, about 11, she walked up to me that night and she said, "Abney, I don't know what's wrong, but you've been sad ever since you got home from dance. And I wanted you to know that I prayed for you, and that whatever's wrong, I prayed for it, and God's going to help it." And that's whenever I realized that whenever a little kid that's 10 knows that God can heal something like that, that I don't understand why I didn't have as much faith as she did. But ever since I got saved, I had it down. And God's brought me a long way since then. He's helped me to talk to my friends, or my acquaintances that just are life suckers. He helps me to talk to people. It's scary to talk to you guys right now. I can talk to people that's older than I am and people that are younger, but with teens and youth, I can't talk to. But since I got saved, I've gotten a little bit better, and through prayer, God's helped me to talk. And it's kind of crazy what God can do, because it's almost like he knows what he's doing. And if you guys are questioning your faith at all, or your salvation, just talk to Dave or Olivia back there. I'm sure she would talk with you. And I can talk too. But don't question your faith, because if you do question your faith and somebody ends up asking you about the Bible or something like that, and you don't know what to say, it's kind of scary. It's scary if you don't know what to say, because I've been there. My little 6-year-old sister, she asked me the other day what it means to be saved. And I was like, just talk to Mom and Daddy about it. Just talk to Mom and Daddy about it. And I was like, they'll tell you. but that I could have been the chance that she had then. But her and my parents have talked about it, and she's not got it yet. But if I talk to her and I help her, she could get saved. And I know that, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that she will get saved soon. And I know that God can save anyone, no matter how mean or rude or selfish or annoying they are. Because I am honestly very annoying sometimes. And if he can save me, I know he can save you guys. I know he can save my uncle. Because he sent his son to die for me. And for you guys too. And that, honestly, I'm sure it took a lot of courage to do that. But the Bible says it only takes faith the size of a mustard seed to move a mountain. And I believe now that even whenever I had the faith the size of a mustard seed, I know that he can still do great things through me. And I know that he can do the same for you guys. So, yeah. If you guys don't mind, can I pray with you guys? Dear Lord, thank you for all that you do for us. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to come up here and talk to this amazing youth group. Thank you for giving me peace and calming my nerves about this. Thank you for my friends in this group that will give me encouragement whenever I'm worried or whenever I'm nervous. And I pray that if somebody in here is questioning their faith, that they'll come and talk to somebody tonight. And I pray that you will help them to nail that down. In your son's holy name, amen.
Yeah.